Welcome to the Wildcraft Serenity server. Wildcraft is an active, family-friendly server with plugins, mods, and awesome players. There's no way I could possibly show you all of the great things on the server, but I at least sped up the playback so I could fit as much as possible. Alright, so the natural place to start a tour of a server is, of course, the spawn. So that's what we're going to do. The spawn area you see here is new for Wildcraft, and it was built by a character named YD1205. Quite a few of the things on the server were built by him, and we'll see more of those later on. So taking a tour around, first we have a portal for the boss battle arenas. If you want to fight the dragon or the wither, you can go there. We also have a portal here for the Miner's Delight world. This is where you would go in case you wanted to gather resources or just dig a hole for a little while. We also have a merchant here that sells some super tools. Very, very helpful if you're going to be building things in the area. And finally, we have the latest addition to Wildcraft, which is Skylands, right? So if you are a flying character, you can go to Skylands, build you a sky fortress, and enjoy it. Speaking of Skylands, they recently had a building contest to determine what the spawn point would be for that new world. So as you can see here, our winner, first place, was Blaze Prodigy. Very awesome build. It's a flying platform with balloons and zeppelins and things such as that. We have Ian Awesome 3, got second place with his platform being lifted up by these pretty cool birds. And finally, we have third place, which was my entry, actually. I think I got a little bit too crazy and big with it, but I was still satisfied. Most of my builds are pretty big, pretty much too big. But we have a flying castle, we have some floating biome examples, and propellers to keep it all up. If you get tired of building for a while, Wildcraft certainly has you covered with that. We have our basic mob arena. If you go in the first layer here, you have your basic mobs. You have spiders, skeletons, zombies, creepers, zombie pigments, those sorts of things. You can go to the second floor, and they have a little bit more advanced offerings for you. They have ghasts and witches and blazes and those sorts of things. If you're really going crazy, you can head over to the Infernal Arena, which is a mod that gives you some pretty crazy powerful creatures. If you want to fight other people, there's a PvP arena, of course. And finally, if you just want to have some fun, go to the Fun Center. You can have a climbing contest, a little bit of parkour. There's even a giant tower that lets you jump into a hole into the ground, so it's pretty fun. Ever feel like you want some pretty awesome things, but you don't want to actually put in the work? Well, there you go. We have plenty of shops in Wildcraft as well. We have the Wonder Shop here, which has some enchanted books, some enchanted items, all sorts of things. Nex actually has a shop as well, which has some pretty cool masks and hats that you can get that are only available at his shop. You have some other enchanted items, diamonds, those sorts of things if you just want to look around. And also his is built on a pretty awesome ship, so that's a plus as well. And there are other shops on the server if you look around. It wouldn't really be a server video if I didn't actually show you some things that were built on the server. So the first location we have here is a popular one. It's called Serenity, and this has been built by several members of the community. They have various different styles of building, so you can look inside of those when you get the chance because they are very nice inside as well. Somebody is over here building a giant rocket ship, it appears, and this may actually tie into another location that I'll show you here in a few moments. Other village style buildings, and in the background here you can see a temple-like tower that was built. It's very nice inside as well. We have some altars that you can look at over here. These tie into certain mods on the server. You can look into those further as well. And finally, we have Serene City Castle back here. It also offers different kind of facilities, like you have an enchanting room, a potion brewing room, and various things upstairs as well. Next, we have a desert location called Death Valley. This is built by Crazy Man 91. Again, very awesome build here. I certainly like all the little kiosks and shops that he built. There's some pixel art style statues that have been built. Well, I think this is even beyond pixel art. This is three-dimensional and very nice to look at. We have a couple inside here, some pyramids, and then on the outside you'll see that there are a couple other giant statues for you to look at. So let's go out there and look at those. There you go. Not sure if it's related to that rocket earlier, but we have a space station built by YD1205. This is actually another location that you can go to. We have the space station as more of a starter spawn point. You see a few spacecrafts coming into land, but you can either talk to an admin or you can click a button and start your own area. Alright, next we have Birthorpe by Blaze Prodigy. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So remember, he's the guy who won our building contest, and you can obviously tell why as you look at his area. Very nice buildings, and I especially like this one in the back. But my favorite part is in the courtyard behind here. We have a giant head collection. Why not? Everybody needs one of those, don't they? Alright, next we have Ostrich Island by Ian Awesome 3. As you recall earlier, Ian got second place in the building contest, and you can certainly see why again. Here's his ship that he built. There are a couple other ones that look like they're in progress. Here's more of the island in the background here. Various little buildings that go along with the build. It looks like Shruff had a little bit to do with this, but again, this warp point is related to Ian Awesome's Ostrich Island. And then in the background over here, I'm not quite sure if this goes with this build or the next one we're going to look at, but we have a jousting arena with places to joust and for fans and everything. It's very awesome. Alright, and right next door to Ostrich Island, we have Willow Grove by Whitey1205 again. Whitey is obviously an awesome builder. The only reason he wasn't in the contest was because he was one of the judges. But he certainly has the abilities. He has a barn here, we have a windmill, and it's just a quaint little village that he has going on here. Very friendly. If you ask for a house, I'm quite certain Whitey will offer you one. I have one here in the village. I'll show you in just a moment. And here is my house, as you can see by the sign. Let's go in. This is fully decorated by Whitey. I was very impressed when he gave it to me. We have a second floor here with a little bedroom. And then we even have attic space up top with some room for chests and other kind of storage. And looking around, you can see he has many more plots ready to be built, just waiting for people requesting them. Next we have a build by Smurf and Nightwolf. Now while this isn't technically a warp point, I thought they had some pretty awesome stuff that I wanted to showcase. They have a reed farm, a dock that is a work in progress. They want to make sure that I let everybody know this is not their final build, but they're still working on it. Either way, I think it's pretty awesome so far. We have another ship, and we have some colorful buildings here in the background which have lots of potential. Next we have High Cliff, again by Whitey1205. Whitey put a little shop over here for us if we need any quick items, music discs, tools. But the best thing about this area is all of the villagers. If you need to trade with a villager, this is where you need to be. It's the best place that I've found on the server so far. And then, for some reason, he put a skull in a mountain. Why not? Next, we have a temple built by Beethoven. Again, this isn't a warp point, but it's definitely worth checking out. He told me that he built this after invading quite a few different temples just throughout the Miners Delight world, so that's another useful thing there. But he has some villagers, he has some some enchanting space. He has a gigantic room for storage. Underneath, he has some animals, mushrooms, pretty much any animal you could ask for. He has plenty of stock downstairs. And then if you go back up, you can see that he has an exit to go straight out into the ocean. But I must warn you, this happened to me several times while recording. There are lots of guardians. They will hurt you. And lastly, while it's not a warp point, I think it should be. This is my build here, Fancy Town. You could probably tell it's my build because there are giant versions of my head. I like very colorful animals, so I have plenty of sheep. If you look inside here, this is part of my sorting system. This will be a farm area. Again, this is a work in progress. This is part of the sorting system as well. I can just go on my first floor and dump out as much as I don't want, and I can sort it once I get down to the bottom. Speaking of, here's my sorting system in progress. It's not automatic yet, but it is going to be. There are going to be some other improvements, but my favorite one so far is I do have an iron golem spawner here. So as you can see, the poor fellow is getting a lava bath, but when he is done, I will reap the benefits and get me some iron and some pretty red flowers. So there you go. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow on Twitter, all that good stuff. And of course, go to wildcraftmc.com and sign up for a great server. I promise you will not be disappointed whatsoever.